All right. All right. Just got to post to Facebook. I scheduled like everything else for the week.
Right.
But I just didn't because I wasn't sure when I would need to do the go live post for the podcast. So the 8-Bit Adventures podcast is live right now. Join us over at www.twitch.tv/8-Bit Adventures. I have typed that URL like a dozen times this week for posts.
Yeah. Create some type of keybind on your keyboard or macro.
I probably could. Courtney was saying that GameStop has Stream Decks. And part of the whole appeal of Stream Decks is for that purpose, is to create keybinds for like anything.
Well, I didn't know if you could just like see if I can show real quick. Like
I mean, I could always keep
like
a
my
text
keyboard.
file.
See how it has like these extra buttons down underneath.
Yeah.
And it has actually all these extra ones here too.
Yeah.
I don't use them for anything; they're just there. But
yes, a Stream Deck.
There's gotta be a way that you could assign a macro to them, but just make that macro a certain stream of text.
Yeah. So Stream Deck is basically like it's like an external number pad that has all macro keys. It's like 16 macro keys that you can program to do anything. Yeah. Usually people will do them to do transitions between scenes.
Yes.
And stuff like that. We are live. I'm going to tag you. I will tag Courtney, even though she's not going to be on tonight.
Tagged.
So, there we go. So, hello, Internet people. Welcome to our pre-show.
Oh, my God. I didn't see you there.
I don't even have my cardboard box.
What? Is that a Metal Gear reference?
It is a Metal Gear reference.
Good for you, man. I'm glad that you're coming around.
What do you mean coming around? Like, I loved having Solid Snake in Smash Brothers Brawl.
Have you ever played Metal Gear, any of the games?
No, because they were on. They were on PlayStation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I don't have a PlayStation.
You really need to go back and
no
educate yourself in
actual real video games. I don't have time. It was I got a haircut tonight, and I was trying to explain. It was the hairdresser was asking like, oh, so like, what do young people do for fun around here, or whatever? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have any time to do anything fun. I was like, now, like, I take a look at my week, and it's like Sundays I do the comic, Mondays I do the art stream, Wednesdays is the podcast, Thursdays is the game night stream, every other Friday is Jamora. Then every other Saturday is your game. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what most young people do. I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well,
that's what I do for fun.
If your fun starts to feel like work, then you need to.
Oh no, I just mean like my time. Like I enjoy doing this,
so
but it's just like
that's what I'm saying.
But it's my time gets sucked in, and so then it's like there's also like a productivity element to it.
I guess.
Yeah. It is also not what most young people are doing for fun.
Hey, are we young people?
No.
I was gonna say.
No.
I'm not. I don't consider myself young.
Well, that's why I said I don't know. I don't think I qualify to know anymore.
The young people binge drink and play Fortnite.
Oh, I do play Fortnite.
Oh. But I don't think.
Oh, I tried. So I downloaded it on PC because I was like, oh well, like I'll have better, better control on PC and everything, right?
Keyboard.
Not realizing that console and PC are on different servers.
Yeah, get wrecked.
So then everybody else was on PC, That was a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, it was not a good time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I ended up going,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe I'll just like check my friends list on
That was
PC
one
and then like
reason.
load that in, and
That
then
was
I'll
one
just
reason. When I used to play Call of Duty long ago,
Mhm.
like Modern Warfare 2 or whatever,
Yeah.
um, I liked playing on my 360. One of the reasons I didn't play shooters on, because I know I'm not good at them really,
Yeah.
even with mouse and keyboard, that at least I know everybody is as gimped as me with the controller.
Yep.
So like we all have the same disadvantage.
Yeah. Turns out I do much better on console than I do on PC. Also,
Yeah.
playing on PC, it hurts my hands because of the button inputs. So like to sprint is you have to hold down shift, and
Yep,
then the
that's
crouch
normal.
like you have to hold down control.
Yep, that's normal.
Whereas which is normal, but it's also
Yeah.
like then also using the WASD keys.
Yeah.
I don't have a mouse anymore that has the buttons on the side since I gave my Naga mouse
Oh.
to Megan, so I can't like
Oh, big
easily switch.
mistake. What does
So
she need the Naga mouse for?
because she bought me a wireless one.
A wireless Naga?
No, she bought me a wireless Logitech mouse and keyboard
Uh,
because my previous ones were very, very gross and
I won't
nasty.
use wireless peripherals ever.
Also, I wouldn't even be able to use it nowadays because my front USB ports no longer work.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, and I have
I use shift a lot playing WoW because I do use a Naga and I have to hold shift to hit a lot of my abilities.
yeah.
So
I think
like
for
1 through
me,
12 is my main I would say my main abilities I use all the time on my shaman.
yeah,
And then holding shift is like bloodthirst and all that stuff, or
I
heal
use
myself, or
I use Control
spiritual
and
like
Alt more for doing because
uh
I have a lot of modifier macros being a hunter.
alt is my one of my push to talks.
Ah,
Z and alt are my two different push to talks depending on the game I'm playing.
I use the Grave key because it's used for nothing else.
It's the grave key.
That's the tilde key.
Oh geez, that's too far away from anything.
Yeah, but I never talk. I never have to talk.
Oh, like in raids and stuff, I need to talk. I can just move my ring finger from the A to the Z really quick.
Oh, see, I'm never like when I did raid, I was never in charge, so I never had to talk.
Oh, it's not being in charge. It's just like if something happens, like, and you need to let the raid know, you just need to.
No,
You
we
need
we
to
actually
just,
we tried to keep chatter to a minimum.
oh yeah.
And so and like everybody had DBM, everybody had what was it, Aura, um, or ORA, however you say it. And basically, I mean, I usually never died, so there was no need for me to say like, "Oh, hey, I'm down. I need a battle res or something." No, because that was the
Fine,
whole
under
thing. That
cover
was
of
the whole
everybody.
perk about
They
bringing.
can they can see the healers see.
That was the perk about bringing Sean. Is that he'll make it to the end of the fight, whether that fight is a success or failure. Sean will be the last one standing.
We also BS a lot in our raid, so
Yeah, we didn't. No, it
yeah.
was like if
This
you
is
spoke
we are.
up.
I'm super casual now. It's like this isn't progression.
Yeah, I mean, oh well, this was when we were still a progression raid, so it was basically like unless you are the raid leader or one of the officers that is calling out like tank switches or something like that, like shut up,
See,
like get off the comms.
Yeah.
So
Way back, I was raid because that was Burning Crusade though. Long.
yeah, I think the last I did was maybe like Nax Ramus. Maybe Eye of Eternity was like the last progression raid that I did.
Eternity, what was that? Malagos?
Yeah. By the time Ulduar came out, like I was done. I was just doing like
A lot of people like Gold War.
member alt
A
raids.
lot of people love that flipping raid for whatever reason.
I like the aesthetic. There's cool aesthetics in there.
I hate all the raids that begin with old. They all seem so samey to me.
Well, yeah, because they're all Titan based.
I know, that's why.
And if you don't like the Titan aesthetic, then there you go.
I don't. Some of the stuff's cool, like what was the secret boss in Ulduar? The star guy.
Algalon the Raid Destroyer.
Algalon. Yeah.
He feeds
That
on
was
your
cool.
tears.
I just like the whole cosmic vibe of that room and that boss.
Yeah.
That I'm into the whole cosmic vibe, but
Yeah.
all the dwarf. I say dwarf because all seemed very dwarfy. All the Titan stuff.
Yeah.
To me. Which, okay, the first time, oh, cool. But then when you kind of reuse it over and over and over again, it's like, okay, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
I was getting sick of Legion at the end, too. So much green. I don't need to see any more neon green.
Yeah. Well, you know what's going to happen is we're going to get sick of
We're going to get sick of black. Yeah,
black
we're
and
going to get sick of
purple.
purple and black. Yep, I know.
And then we're going to get sick
I
of
think
white and gold.
They're going to be the bad guys. They're already setting it up.
I mean, it's already being set up for the light to be the next, or for the Naru to be the next thing, which I'm not on board for. Like, it doesn't.
I'm always on board with that.
Well, you are, because it's so Xenogears.
It's that,
like,
and
Warcraft is basically pulling Xenogears at this point.
Well, here's a lot of things. One, just my personal religious beliefs. I'm like, yeah, any deities, let's crush them. You can see that come through with Jacobin quite a bit.
Yeah,
because that's just me. I also like the idea of it's the trope of the supposed good guys are actually so good they're evil. Actually, they're so lawfully good that it's actually evil. Like the horseshoe theory, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I just,
I like that trope. And I do like, get in your mech and fight God.
Yeah. For me, it's like,
actually, that's
I don't know. I guess for Warcraft, I preferred it to be a little
stuff, man.
I preferred it to be a little more simplistic, but yeah, like
I do too. I'm a big fan of very small, self-contained stories and more personal characters.
Oh yeah, no, it's totally setting it up so that we have to go back to Draenor.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not on board for that.
What reverse or like back in time Draenor? Back to
yes, that we're gonna have to go to alternate timeline Draenor and
I have a quest to
take
go
down
there to get
Yrel.
Stupid race.
Because Yrel's now the big bad there.
Is she really?
Yes. Yeah, that's what they're setting up for the War on the Light. Is they basically turn into the Scarlet Crusade and they force the Magar orcs to join them. And like basically brainwash them because now they're like
and Gromash is gonna get redemption and be the hero.
Basically.
Probably.
Yeah, which is stupid.
You know what? He'll die just like he did at the end of Warcraft 3. Something will blow up and he'll die.
It's also ignoring the fact that like there is no reason that we have to go back to alternate timeline Draenor. It's when Magar orcs are in Outland.
Everybody hated it.
It's like, why, Blizzard? Why bring us back there? Why remind us that existed?
Everybody hated it.
The only reason could be that they're setting up the light to be the next bad guys.
Well, I'm hopefulness is that they'll do it a different way. That they won't do it like that. They'll find another way to do it. I think the next expansion is going to be very heavy void. But also, I think they're going to have the light be... I think it's going to be like a void light thing in the next expansion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm also not a fan of this whole, like, maybe we'll have Terralia and Illyria split up because reasons.
They've run out of ideas, man.
They're hinting at that. And it's like, they've been together for 1,000 years. Like, why? Why split them up?
I always say that too. What's this 1,000 years crap about?
Oh, well, because they were in the Twisting Nether for 1,000 years.
And time's weird. It's the warp. It's Warhammer. It's the warp. I get it.
Yeah. And time flows weirdly.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It's just, I was like, whatever.
So that's why Terralian's like not quite human anymore.
Whatever.
Because he's like 1,040 years old.
He's lame
and he's
now.
Suffused with light energy.
He used to be cool.
No, he's still awesome. You just don't like him because he's now on the Alliance side.
No, he was on the Alliance side before.
Yeah.
I thought he was cool. Now
he's still got the best sword in the game.
He does have a cool sword.
It's even better than, and I'm going to mention it, Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker.
Oh, did somebody say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker?
It was I remember someone
Link.
someone on
Baron's chat.
someone on Facebook asked for examples of like iconic like fantasy weapons and everything, and they were like, oh, like Glamdring and Sting and a couple other things. A bunch of people like posted like Frostmourne in the responses or whatever, and then I was just like, did somebody say Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker? And and the thing was, like, you could tell the people that got it because they were just like responding, with like ha-has or like yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people that didn't, they were like, no, nobody, what are you talking about? Like, what is this weapon?
Oh man, that was the like most badass thing you would see way back in the day.
Yeah.
Somebody rocking one of those.
Yeah, that and the Sulfuron Warhammer.
Yep.
That's why I'm still rocking Rock Dalar.
I was very disappointed. Gorehowl should have been a legendary. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Gorehowl should have been a legendary.
I had Gorehowl back in Burning Crusade. Yeah. Got it in Karazhan. Which I don't know why the best boss of Karazhan had it. It didn't make sense. That dungeon didn't make sense.
I mean, Gorehowl should have been a warrior weapon.
It should have been a warrior legendary.
It should have been the Fury Warrior legend or artifact weapon. Although, who has Gorehowl? Does Garrosh have Gorehowl?
Garrosh did.
Oh, he did.
Then it was corrupted with the Heart of Yogg-Saron when they were all corrupted back in Siege of Orgrimmar.
Yeah.
And there was a corrupted version of it you could get off of Garrosh in Siege.
But did he have it when they went to Draenor? I presume he did.
Yes. The opening. Well, no, maybe that was Gromash's. I'm thinking the opening cinematic of Draenor.
No, he must have had it because I'm pretty sure he had it in his Mak-Garah. And I think do they just leave it there? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why it's not an artifact weapon available. It's because it's in Draenor, and it's like we're not going back there.
Yeah, maybe
we are never.
I'm just saying, way back, it should have been way back in Burning Crusade. It should have been.
Oh yeah. Like, I think it was an epic back then.
It was. You got it off Prince Malchezaar, or is that his name?
Yes.
The last boss of Karazhan.
Yeah.
Which again, I didn't understand why he had it.
And I think somebody at Blizzard actually responded and said something like, he comes from Infinite Worlds, so
right,
he has yet another alternate version of Gorehowl.
Yeah, he's a Legion. Went to Infinite. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird dungeon. One of my favorite raids. Still,
it is of my opinion the best raid. In my opinion,
I really like Siege of Orgrimmar. I really like Siege of Orgrimmar.
I could
like that raid. I really like Ice Crown Citadel.
Oh God,
I love Ice Crown Citadel.
No. Hate Ice Crown Citadel.
I really like Ice Crown.
Of course, I just hate all of Wrath of the Lich King with a fiery, burning passion. So.
Fools! May the icy winds of North rend! Whatever the heck Cindergrosa says when she flies in at the beginning of that fight.
Nope.
I just always remember it.
It can all...
That fight was, I think, the hardest fight in there for me was the Cindergrosa one. Arthas wasn't even as bad, if I remember correctly. It didn't take us as long as it took us to get Cindergrosa. Yeah. But yeah, I think maybe those are just the ones I have the most nostalgia for.
I mean, if you really think about it, I didn't do a whole lot of... I certainly didn't do a whole lot of raids during my progression raiding. And then after that was LFR, and it was very limited, because, there just wasn't a whole lot available.
Did I ever tell you about the statistics project I did by using LFR DPS data?
Yeah.
It was in Siege of Orgrimmar, too.
Let's see. So, I did Gruul's Lair, Serpentine Cavern, Tempest Keep. Tempest Keep was another favorite of mine. I like to think that my
Tempest Keep.
I liked to think that my personal nemesis was Fell Reaver, just because we would have so much trouble on it. But for me, that was kind of an easy fight, and that was where
Range had an easy time.
Yep, and that was where I got to work on my
World of Warcraft.
That's where I got to work on my stutter stepping, because at the time auto shot was just a thing that happened. Yeah. And your auto shots would get clipped by your other shots, and if you were moving,
that was how playing a warrior was the same thing. your heroic strike would reset the countdown of your auto attack or
Yeah.
something, or something along those lines.
Yep.
So you had to be careful and watch what color, if it was white damage, if it was an auto attack, or if it was yellow damage,
Yeah.
like time your heroic strike.
But if you were also moving, you could not auto shot. It would wait until you were not moving anymore. So what you do is you would have to move up until the bar got to the end, and then you would have to stop, let off your auto shot, and then keep moving.
You had
again.
to play a MOBA essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's how you play auto attackers in MOBA.
Very much so. Yeah.
That's how you play Phoenix very well. Like a really good Phoenix do that. They take a first level ability where you stutter step and attack, and you do more damage. Damage. You do more damage after every time you move. So you stutter step.
Yep.
And you wreck. Very hard to do.
Yeah. Why don't we get started so that way we're not going super late?
Yeah, sure.
So yeah. All right. So I'm gonna mute Discord. Go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 117, New Doctor, New TARDIS, Iron Fist gets cancelled, nefarious PS4 messages, and much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest geeky pop culture news of the week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and my single co-host tonight, Josh York.
안녕하세요, 저는 조슈아입니다.
Courtney's not feeling well.
For our Korean listeners out there.
Yeah. Yes, all...
0.
Yeah, 0. Courtney is not feeling well tonight, so she will not be joining us. However, who knows? Maybe she may turn up in the chat, but maybe. So we have a wonderful show for you tonight. We have lots and lots of juicy pop culture news. But in order to accommodate that, we are not going to do quest log this week. So we are going to put off our Paladin discussion for a while.
You said that wrong. Put off our best class in D&D discussion.
I mean, in terms of just straight up mechanics, I mean, you might not be wrong.
I just like Paladins and everything.
Paladins are in a very good place in terms of class design, class theme, and mechanics and structure and everything.
They feel good to me, but we can talk about that.
They're in a good place. Yeah. However, and we will cover this week in 8-Bit Adventures and cover some news and everything going on with that stuff. So why don't we get right down into it? So there will be a Nintendo Switch Diablo 3 bundle. It's going to have the Lord of Terror's ugly mug etched into the dock as well as the back of the Switch itself.
That's kind of cool.
And it will include a download code for the game. So you get the game as part of the bundle. And I think that's pretty much it. It's actually it's not a very flashy bundle. And I don't think they actually changed the color of the Joy-Cons at all, which is a little bit of a misstep.
You should get a black, a blood. I don't know. Some Diablo color.
Yeah, something. Yeah. In further Diablo news, Blizzard actually, I want to say maybe an hour ago, posted a thing clarifying or potentially misdirecting that it does not seem like that we're going to get an announcement of Diablo 4 or some new Diablo project at BlizzCon this year.
I think we're going to get maybe another expansion.
Maybe. There was a lot of scuttlebutt talking about how, because it's basically the Diablo talk and what's coming for Diablo is happening right after the opening ceremony, if you will. Right. That they were going to have something big, but yeah. Also, the fact that the Diablo lead was moved off of that project to some other unknown project at this time.
Yeah,
similar to what they've done with Dustin Browder and whole bunch of other folks. They're basically moving all their top talent onto some undisclosed project as of yet.
Yeah, they could use a new game.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got that coming. Hocus Pocus 25th anniversary special. It has been 25 years of the Sanderson sisters. They're doing a special 25th anniversary TV extravaganza thing this Saturday on Freeform as part of their sort of Halloween 31 days of Halloween thing.
What are they doing? Like a 24-hour Hocus Pocus marathon or something?
No, they're just they're showing Hocus Pocus like every night. Like one showing of Hocus Pocus every night, kind of a thing.
Why do people love that movie so much?
It's become like a weird cult classic. Like,
is it just people our age who were kids when it came out?
I think so.
Want the nostalgia of it.
Like, I really enjoy the movie, but yeah, I can see
good.
Like, yeah, but it was like, it's a good one-off movie.
I remember even liking it as a kid too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't remember being like super into it. And
funny enough,
I really love it.
Critically bombed when it came out.
Well, it's kind of a dumb movie if you watch it.
Oh, it's kind of, yeah, absolutely.
But it's like, it's dumb fun.
It also, fun fact, as I was looking up facts about this movie the other night, it released in July.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
Because Disney didn't want to release 2 Halloween movies that year in October, because that was the same year that Nightmare Before Christmas was released.
Hocus Pocus was a Disney movie?
Yes.
I didn't even realize that.
It is.
I thought it was some generic...
Nope. It is Disney.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even remember the real plot of that movie. I just know there were 3 witches. One is Bette Midler.
Yes. So
here's the plot. Bette Midler's actually a witch.
So here's the plot is in colonial Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah, of course.
A little exposition is that you have some townsfolk. Little girl gets kidnapped by the witches.
Okay.
Who are brewing a potion to steal the souls of children to grant them immortality.
Awesome.
The witch is played by Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Okay.
They get caught. They're hanged. As they're being hanged, they utter a curse that they will return when a virgin lights a specific enchanted candle and brings them back for one night to get their plans.
I remember the virgin thing.
Yep.
Because I think there were a lot of jokes.
Yes.
About that. Yeah.
Fast forward 300 years. So in 1993.
The far future.
In the far future of 1993, we have transplants from California moving to Salem. Have trouble fitting in, and that's the plot of every 90s movie. Yes, it is.
By the way, that part, new kid from another state moves to new place. That's every 90s movie.
Yeah,
got it.
Isn't really into Halloween, but decides to go out trick or treating with his little sister.
Okay.
And then meets up with cute girl, and so to get him into the Halloween spirit, they go to the Sanderson Museum, which is the witch's old house. And they light the candle because they're dumb teenagers.
Yes.
The witches come back.
And they come back.
Hijinks ensue as there's culture clashing with, oh my god, it's modern Halloween and ancient and colonial era witches.
1993, right?
Yeah.
I remember a musical number.
Yes. Bette Midler is in the film, so they're required to do a musical number. But it's great. She has actually done that song in costume as part of her regular tour.
Maybe it's just one of those things where it's so camp that it's fun and good, I think.
Absolutely, 100%. That is the appeal. I think nowadays, and it has certainly actually gotten better with time.
Okay.
Then, because you can tell, it's definitely a period piece of being in the early 90s.
It's a period. That's that weird that we could say a 90s film is a period piece now?
You can absolutely say that. As there are no smartphones, right? So it happens before, let's say 2000.
No internet, really. No internet.
Internet not really a thing.
Super Nintendo was probably the newest console. Super Nintendo Genesis. That was a Super Nintendo
Probably.
Genesis
They don't
era?
really get into a lot of video
I know.
game kind of
Is
stuff.
somebody riding a skateboard at some point?
Yes, there are
Okay.
two guys who
90s
strangely
checklist.
enough,
Let's keep going.
Salem natives that speak with sort of California surfer accents that kind of serve as like a Jay and Silent Bob, but like
Okay.
a malicious like bullying saying Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay.
Yeah. But then like steal his shoes.
Of course.
Like
Yeah. Okay.
that's
More
a thing
90s.
where
Let's keep going.
yeah, where I said yeah in let's say the aughts and the teens, yeah, white people aren't going around stealing shoes off of other white people's feet.
I just feel like that was still, to me, that feels like a 90s thing of like, oh, people stealing shoes, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially,
Maybe
and
just
they're
they
like,
don't care about shoes
and they're
anymore.
they're Nikes.
Yeah, of course they are.
Like these days, like nobody's stealing Nikes off of people's feet.
They might,
They might, but
I don't know. I'm
not in Salem.
Game. My shoe game's not so strong, so I don't know.
They're definitely not doing it in Salem. But yeah, so hijinks ensue. The witches are once again trying to recreate their potion and get their book, which the kids steal right off the bat. They're aided by one of the townsfolk, who was the brother of the original little girl that was stolen, Thackeray Binks. You might know him as McGee on NCIS nowadays. Same actor.
Wait, did he come back in time too? Did he come from the past too?
So he was turned into a cat and then made immortal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That also feels in the 90s, but maybe I'm thinking of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Kind of the same thing. He was turned into a black cat, so he was a talking black cat.
Of course.
However, they used CG, whereas Sabrina used puppetry.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. I think that cat's name was actually Salem. Yes, so McGee is the character played on NCIS.
NCIS, a show I've never watched.
Sean Murray.
So. Okay, I'm just trying to get a look to see what this guy looks like.
Yes.
Okay. Unfamiliar.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're aided by Talking Cat. And yeah, they're trying to stop the witches. Witches are trying to brew their potion to then steal all the souls of the children in Salem, get their immortality, and who knows? They don't really go into detail of what their plans are after that.
What's the long game here?
I don't know what the long game is. Who knows? All I know is that I kind of want to revamp some of my D&D villains to be a play on the Sanderson sisters, because
I like that.
For our game, we're going into an area heavily. It's already been established, very witchy.
As long as you DM that musical number,
I might. I don't know if we can, because even if I sing it, it may get taken. Like the DMCA may come in and say,
"Oh,"
and silence that bit. Maybe.
All right.
It'll just have to be a musical number that I make up on the spot.
It's fine.
Oh geez. Well, like Viari from Acquisitions Incorporated, like Rothfuss. Yeah. That's who I'm trying to think of. How he will just break into song, despite not being a bard. But yeah, so it's been 25 years, so they're doing a 25th anniversary special. Okay. Looks like, I don't know if they're gonna have Bette Midler, but Sarah Jessica Parker will at least like have a video thing that she sends in. I think Kathy Najimy will be there. And they'll do all sorts of musical numbers and costumes and like a stage show and stuff. So yeah. I mean, we're gonna watch it because, it's a fun movie.
Of course.
And it seems like a fun special. So yeah, I know there are people in our audience that are probably excited to hear that. So, and it's just been all over, because we've been watching Freeform. It's like they advertise it like every commercial break. So
I've never even heard of that channel.
It used to be ABC Family before they rebranded.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And sorry, no cable. I'm one of those.
No, that's
pretentious jerks who
that's fine.
Have cable.
I was like, you know what? It'll come with my internet package and make it way cheaper, so I might as well get it. And then yeah, for the price of what TV and internet was before, I'm able to get better internet and better cable packages that include HBO.
Oh, that's cool. At least you
So,
get that.
yeah.
So I know where I'm watching Game of Thrones this coming summer.
Yep. Funny thing is, haven't watched HBO since like at all.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything good on it right now.
It's like I never got into Westworld, so it's like, eh.
Yeah, me neither.
And
I know
honestly,
that's
after
probably
the
right
Red
up my
Wedding, I
alley.
was like, I'm not watching Game of Thrones anymore.
Oh, you just gotta
Nope.
with it.
Won't do it.
That's you should have been like that after spoilers. Ned gets killed.
I kind of almost was actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, not to be one of those person like. Imagine reading that and it's just like out of nowhere. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
he's basically been the main character this whole book. He's fine.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
It's just like what?
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
But that's the joy of fiction, man. You gotta see where it goes.
I feel like Dragonlance might almost be like that because like those characters end up dying quick. I mean, it's D&D, so like they come back, but yeah, some of the later stories get really sad when like almost everybody's just died off.
Yeah. That's also right up my alley.
Yeah. Yeah. In further news, so we have a new doctor. So Jodie Whittaker.
Dr. Lady.
Megan and I watched the first episode of the new season. We've missed the second one, but looks real good. She's actually traveling basically with her own party of people now. So instead of one companion, she gets like 3. And then they just unveiled the new TARDIS this past week. So it looks really cool. It's got a much more organic feel to it. It's sort of a bunch of like crystalline pillars that sort of raise up out of the ground and then like come to a focal point with a crystal in the center, surrounded by like metallic honeycomb. And it just has a very sort of blue and sort of sparkly gold color palette to it. And I'm like, that looks really familiar. Where have I seen this before? Of like blue and gold crystals just peeking out of the ground and everything. Oh, wait, it's azurite. Yes. And I went, you know what? I'm on board with this because I actually like the azurite.
It's almost like an orange, but again,
yeah, no, it's very
the good old blue-orange combo.
Yeah,
classic.
One of the things they also said was they moved away from a very digital feel to the TARDIS, and they went back and like they said because Jodie is a very like physical actress, they made it almost entirely analog. So there's all sorts of dials and flips and switches and levers and everything, so that way she can just like go ham on like pulling and pushing buttons and everything, and like a very tactile feel to it. They also rigged up. They asked her what her favorite biscuit is, which for our listeners, because most of our listeners are American. Cookie, not like what you get with chicken, or gravy. But yeah, so they basically installed a cookie dispenser, like an actual cookie dispenser for her favorite like kinds of cookies. So that way, like she pushes a button and like it will like throw a cookie down a chute that like pops out to her.
Is that like a Doctor Who thing? Doctor Who always likes cookies or something?
No, they were just like, hey, Jodie, what kind of biscuits do you like? What kind of cookies do you like?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this thing or whatever. And they were like, what would be cool was if we put a cookie dispenser in there. And they just went with it. And yeah, apparently they got an authentic reaction from her the first time it happened for, I don't know if it was for an episode or whatever. And she is just like the look of sheer delight and surprise on her face when she pushes a button and then all of a sudden like a cookie like flies out at her for her to eat is just great.
Cool.
So yeah, super
cool.
Again,
I'm not a Doctor Who fan particularly. Yeah. I know very little about it, but I heard the reception for her was actually good, which is I'm glad.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Also, I heard initially when they announced the female Doctor, people were like, man.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad
it was about as bad as them as the rumors flying around that, you know, Idris Elba is being looked at for the new Bond kind of a thing for the same reasons. Like,
grow up. People.
yeah. But yeah, Jodie Whittaker, cool doctor. I was actually like, when we first meet her, she's still in the outfit that Capaldi was wearing, or like a similar costume, at the end of his series, and it actually was like, that was a really nice, sharp looking outfit. And then she gets her like a goofy like high pants with suspenders and long coat and everything.
I like
still
her
cool,
costume.
still cool. But yeah, so yeah, cool looking Azerite themed TARDIS. So who knows?
Blue and orange. There was a time, I think this was probably around 2011. They probably still do it a lot. But look at a bunch of video game covers from that era, and it's all blue, orange, like Mass Effect.
I believe that.
Battlefield.
Yeah.
Just because that, for whatever reason, that's a nice, pleasing.
Well, I mean, they're both complementary colors.
Yeah, right.
So, it creates a nice stark contrast.
But it's just funny to see how often that was used in video game art.
Yeah.
During those years.
And then for all the Sonic fans, it's Sonic and Tails.
Yes.
And we won't talk about that any further.
Rolling around at the speed of sound.
Avengers 4.
Go, gotta find.
Congratulations. The listeners heard none of that because you blew out the mic.
They knew where I was going.
So Avengers 4 has wrapped production.
Everyone dies. Thanos wins. None of you got to see it.
The Russo brothers have been tweeting out several like cryptic, mysterious photos. But one piece of concrete evidence that we do have is Chris Evans is apparently done after this film.
He's been saying that for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean he has, but
yeah,
it's now like I think he made an official statement, which was like, yeah, this is his last Captain America appearance, kind of a thing in film. You know, I think that's fine. I think he certainly earned it. So
it's his choice. He can do whatever he wants.
The real question is will it be Robert Downey Jr.'s last appearance as Tony Stark?
I think he's gonna have a hard time.
Absolutely.
I don't see him as anything else.
Yeah,
anymore.
I think
he's not even Robert Downey Jr. He's just Tony Stark.
Like we've seen, like it's difficult to see like Benedict Cumberbatch, right? Because like we've seen him in other roles, so he's not just Doctor Strange. Like he's also Sherlock. He's also
he's been in so many.
He's just been in so many things. And like Chris Evans, like you could argue that Chris Evans like is also, you know, he was also Johnny Storm.
I don't think of him as that. I know that
for a hot minute.
Also, a movie called Sunshine.
Yeah,
which you should watch. He's in. It's awesome.
And you know, Chris Hemsworth. You know, he's been in a bunch of stuff.
I get him and his brother confused all the time. They look too much.
Yeah.
They're both way too handsome. It's not fair.
You know, Scarlett Johansson, like,
she can do a lot of things, and I don't even. Black Widow, so I don't even care.
But Robert Downey Jr., like, it is difficult to see him as anything but.
He was also
Tony
the first
Stark.
one.
That is true.
Since the beginning.
That is true.
So a lot of it really hinges on his character.
Yeah.
So ingrained and entangled in all of it.
So,
just like Sam Jackson is Nick Fury. Even though he's not a major character in any of those movies, I just like if Nick Fury's there, even if it's just a scene.
I think it will be difficult to picture Nick Fury as played by anyone but Samuel L. Jackson.
I'd like them to go to the just out of the blue to the original Nick Fury look.
Oh, so Hasselhoff?
Basically. Yeah.
No.
Salt and pepper hair.
No.
Yeah. Yep. Just go.
No.
Just totally switch it on us.
No. But in further Marvel news, Iron Fist canceled after a second season that supposedly improved on the first season, but still
not
just
watched any of the Netflix Marvel stuff.
And Iron Fist widely regarded as the weakest of the bunch. And it looks like season 2 just didn't capture the interest that they were hoping for. So,
yeah, I don't think that character can carry a show.
nah.
I think it's a good, like, you have the Defenders, like, yeah, sure, have them in Defenders, or have them show up in, and like Jessica Jones or
Yeah.
Daredevil or something occasionally. I think that's cool.
It's also, I'm not sure if the character, like himself, is compelling enough.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, I don't think, I didn't even really know who Iron Fist was.
Yeah.
And I'm not super into comics, but I know a fair amount. And
It's also like
really aware of
in both of his personas, like we already have other superheroes that do those things. Like as far as like super rich guy, like we have Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You know? And like on the DC side, we have Batman.
Yeah.
And then like on the other side, like the mystical side, it's like basically he can channel mystical energy for martial arts kind of stuff. So it's like it's a combination of Daredevil, like any number of X-Men, let's be real.
Yeah.
Or even Doctor Strange.
But he's not a mutant. That's different, Sean. Mutants are different.
I know. Mutants are different.
Well, I get it. He steps on other people's toes.
Yeah.
On other heroes, you know.
And so like if you're gonna do that, you have to have a hook. Because this is one of the things that I also worry about, like with Jessica Jones, is like her sole superpower is just super strength.
Yeah.
So like, what else is her hook?
But her, from what I've heard, her show isn't really about her power. It's more about her as a character.
It's about her as a character, and it
also
focuses
personal story, which is more.
And also focuses more on her investigative work, and that's
right.
And that's her hook.
Right.
She's a private investigator.
Right. So that's fine. You can do that if the character is interesting enough outside of their powers.
Yeah.
And the story is also interesting enough. So it's like I've always said I'm a big X-Men fan as far as comics goes. Wolverine's probably my favorite superhero.
Yep.
I also like Gambit, but you couldn't really do Gambit because he's kind of very similar to Wolverine in personality and character.
A little bit, yeah.
As far as like, I don't give a crap about anything.
As we're seeing with the development hell that the Gambit movie has been in.
Right.
Because, yeah, it just points to that. Nobody knows what exactly to do with that character when they have to carry a thing on their own.
Like, I think, and Gambit, I think, does the same thing, not to the same extent that Boba Fett is. Like, I just always thought Gambit was cool. Like, oh, he throws these cool, like
he throws energized playing cards that blow up.
He's got a cool staff. Yeah. He wears a cool long coat.
Yes.
And he talks with the
Cajun accent.
And
yeah.
I always thought, oh, that's really cool. And he does have like the I don't care attitude. So like, oh, it's like, oh, anti-hero kind of type like that. Again, that's up my alley. But I think, I don't know.
It's a character that I think should be part of an ensemble
and Wolverine cast. Has way more depth as a character.
Yeah.
To carry things on as we've seen. We've seen
all
the X-Men movies were basically carried by Hugh Jackman's Wolverine performance.
Yeah.
And Logan on his own, that was a great movie on its own. The other two Wolverine movies we just won't speak of.
No. Well, and I think here's the other thing with Iron Fist is the whole sort of idea behind his show is like trying to figure out like where does he belong, and in trying to pick one, like he can't pick both of his duties, like one as a CEO and one as a protector.
Yeah.
Picking one forces him to give up the other one. He ultimately picks one, but then has to deal with the fallout of the other one. Like this is also mirrored in essentially Daredevil, like already has this arc of like picking superhero.
That's every superhero arc.
Yeah.
Every superhero arc has the how do I balance my life with my responsibility of being a superhero. Not every, but I think a lot do.
So what I'm thinking specifically is two duties, right? Because you don't necessarily get it with Luke Cage, because Luke Cage is just, do I just try and live a regular life, or do I, go out and like be a savior to people kind of a thing? Jessica Jones is just, I have
I'm
my
drunk
own
and angry.
personal stuff that I got to deal with, and I'm gonna deal with it. And whether I use my powers or not, I'm gonna deal with it. But I think it's just like it's basically Daredevil, and like we already have that. Daredevil's already established. We're already invested in that with 3 seasons.
Yep.
And so, we see it with Defenders where Danny comes in and then he and Murdoch butt heads the entire time. And I think it's not very compelling.
Yeah.
Like I didn't actually mind the series, but
I've not watched it, but I can see where it treads on a path that's already been walked.
Yeah.
So and again, there's nothing unique or particularly compelling about it to make it stand out or carry its own weight. So
yeah,
that's fine. I'm not.
It also goes to show Punisher ended up being a better character.
Well, Punisher's a way more interesting character
and
a way more popular character, I would say.
Than absolutely.
Punisher's, in my book, top tier as far as potential Marvel characters go.
Yeah. And it leaves them room to include Punisher if they ever do like a season 2 of Defenders or something. But who knows? I mean, they may just decide to include Iron Fist in Defenders and not have his own series. Don't know. One thing to know is that Netflix canceled it, not Disney. Mm-hmm. So so that kind of kills the speculation of like, oh, well, maybe Disney canceled this series to then put it on their streaming service, but all the other Marvel ones are staying on Netflix. So who knows? Maybe Disney may decide to put it on their streaming service, but I don't see that happening.
No, I don't think it's popular enough.
No.
I think it's pure and simple. It's just not popular.
Plus, I mean, it had the whole controversy when it first came out about essentially white guy teaching martial arts to someone of Asian descent.
Oh,
which like is part of, it is the character, but yeah, the optics were there was controversy.
Get off it, because in MMA, is MMA dominated by Asian dudes doing taekwondo and karate? No. So martial arts that's such a blanket term.
Yeah.
Like,
well, okay, so specifically,
if you're teaching specifically taekwondo, if a white dude's teaching taekwondo to a Korean guy, maybe I can see that.
If I recall, it was specifically,
or if it's
one of the East
to a Japanese guy, or judo to a Japanese guy.
I think it was one of the East Asian styles of martial arts. But yeah, but anyway, there was
the same.
There was some controversy just over the optics and but yeah, my point is,
yes,
it's just more stuff for Disney to just say, whatever. Yeah. We don't need it.
I think the bottom line is just not popular enough.
Yeah. It's more trouble than it's worth. All right. Red Dead Redemption 2. In the news this week.
Game of the year.
Not out yet.
I know.
But what's been in the news this week is there was an interview with one of the CEOs, I think, of Rockstar. It was either Rockstar or Take-Two. Their parent company.
Yep.
Talking about how their teams are working 100-hour weeks to get this game ready for launch.
Oh, surprise. Crunch time in a video game development cycle?
But that they've been doing this for the past, I don't know, year and a
I believe that
year
100%.
Plus or so.
I 100% believe that.
Prompting a lot of backlash for it because of the whole the idea of crunch time as a whole in the video game industry. And that perhaps taking a look at business practices and what should we be doing and how can we do this better, so that saying I worked 100 hours this week and may or may not have been paid overtime for that pay, as apparently Rockstar has also been sued in the past for not paying overtime wages during crunch time. Whether that is deserving of to say that with pride or not, because it's one thing for people to be like, yeah, I got to work on this project and it's really cool. And it's another thing to say, I haven't seen my family ever.
I'm curious if those guys are salaried or not. Or
I
how
mean,
they're
well,
paid. I don't know how it works. I'm
probably
curious.
likely that they're salaried, which is why, which would be one circumvention of overtime.
Well, which is still BS.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, I actually sat down and I was like, okay, over 7 days, uh, for 100 hours, you were looking at like 13-hour days for an entire week straight. Um, which leaves you basically like commute time to go home, sleep for 8 hours, get up, and then just go right back to work, kind of a thing.
Without going into a heavy political rant.
Yeah.
That is BS.
Yeah.
That's not.
So
okay.
there's been a lot of backlash on that. Later clarified that it's not all teams; it was specifically the writing team.
Oh, really?
Which then furthered the backlash by saying,
very interesting.
Well, if it's the writing team, why writing? Why wasn't it done earlier in the process? Because it's writing.
Well, I'm sure there's lots of. It's an open world.
Yeah.
So there's going to be lots of NPCs. I'm sure this is going to be very detailed, and a lot of NPCs are going to have their own daily routines, and they may say different things, or there may be different dialogues available at different times of day. There's probably lots of side questing and things like that. So you have to write little arcs of story for those, and depending on what I don't know how they work particularly, but depending on how closely they work with like the quest design team or even the world like map design team, all that's going to play into effect on the map design is going to play into the effect of how quests are designed.
Yeah.
So as like the artists develop new pieces of map, people who make quests make, oh, this would be a cool place to do this, this, or that. And they're like, I want to do a quest like this. Goes to the writing team. And like, okay, we got to write a quest. And like,
so here's my concern: is if your team that's doing the writing is trying to churn out writing at 100 hours a week, is
a lot of writing.
That is a lot of writing. Now, it then becomes a question of what is the quality of writing that is being headed to the QA team, and then are they going to have to is the burden then transferred to the QA team to then pick out any potential grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, and everything like that, as if people are burned out trying to write content, kind of a thing. Because I know from doing visual arts, there is a big difference in quality at hour 1.
Oh, that's everything.
Versus,
that's everything.
Well, and that's true. I know when I was doing typesetting, doing a 60-hour week during a crazy crunch time that they later regretted, did not actually increase productivity, but actually just all it did was reduce quality.
Well, yeah,
it didn't actually increase output.
The whole idea of a 4-day work week is more productive than a 5.
But. Yeah. So basically what I just wanted to bring this up was it was a big piece of news that dropped this week, and it prompted a lot of people to say, like, why is crunch? So I mean, basically, crunch.
Again, I don't want to get too crazy, but just even in the bigger scheme of just work in general and our system, and our society, it's just like, it's so crazy that we're valued as essentially just living machines and dollar signs. We're just, how many dollar signs are you worth, and how much production can you do?
Yeah,
it's silliness. It's such a sad way to look at a human being.
It also that there were a number of folks in the industry that pointed out that crunch time isn't necessarily something to be celebrated. I think this is a paraphrasing of the quote. As much as
in the video game industry, we hear it all the time. You always hear devs saying it's the crazy amounts of hours people are putting in there. It's ridiculous.
Executives, and this is admittedly, this is painting a broad brushstroke, and it is a generalizing statement.
Of course.
Executives will typically tout as crunch time and how hard people are working as a sort of pride, when it is pointed out that crunch time could generally be mitigated or avoided with proper planning. which
Yes.
doesn't happen.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So my well wishes go out to those poor unfortunate souls that are working with this content. Hopefully, since the game launches next week, soon, that hope is that once the game launches, then things will quiet back down, and hopefully that things get back into like a light work schedule that they wouldn't certainly get laid off for or anything.
Shoot, I didn't realize it was I thought I had till November.
I think it's the 26th.
It is.
Yeah. So,
jeez, I'm gonna have to hold off on some other stuff.
Yeah.
Not even for money reasons, just for time.
Yeah. Well, it's also people have pointed out there are some things that were given attention as far as details go that are perhaps a little extraneous and downright silly.
I believe it.
That are a little not safe for show.
Oh yeah.
That perhaps could have been avoided in order to, and it's not the same because they are different parts of the team, but that different resources could have been funneled in different directions to mitigate crunch instead of devoting hours to horse parts.
Yep. Hey, my immersion though.
Sure.
I need it.
Right.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that level of immersion, sure.
Yeah.
So whatever you say. In other PS news, there is sort of a bug going around right now with PS4 systems. There are some ne'er-do-wells and scoundrels out there that are bricking systems by what they're doing is sending a message using characters that are outside of the PlayStation character set, is what it seems to be. And if you view the message or view the notification for the message, the PlayStation will try and load the message and will error out when it can't read the characters that are in the message and then force your system to fail and cause your system to lock up and bad things may happen. Thankfully, there are a couple of easy ways to protect yourself from this until it gets patched. It also may have been patched already, but just in case, simply setting your message settings to not allow any random person to message you, because the likelihood of one of your friends doing this to you is probably pretty small. And if one of your friends does it, you may want to just get new friends.
So what is happening to systems that were bricked? Sony doing anything?
That I'm not sure. So one of the things that I saw was you can potentially try and clear the message by, I guess, logging in on like a computer and logging into your account.
Maybe.
Just like in a web browser on a PC and clearing the message out that way. But yeah, I think it might be a case of having to send in your system for repair if this happens. It's pretty bad. But yeah. So
I was gonna say it's time for me to update to a PS4 Pro. Maybe I could have an angle my way into one.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll just wait. PlayStation 5 will probably be out in a year or two, or a couple years rather. So
didn't they mention that they're specific, like they talked about some specs or something, and they mentioned like this is not PS5. Like they keep saying that.
I think a lot of people are predicting around 2020. General.
Probably. Yeah. So yeah. Paul G. Allen passed away this week. Paul Allen was one of the co-founders of Microsoft, along with Bill Gates. So one of the pioneers of the personal computer industry. So just wanted to pay our respects and to say thank you for all of the work that you have done. Final bit of just regular news this week. DnDSports is this very weird, bizarre, making It's not an esport.
Well, yeah,
They specifically said this is not an esport, but doing competitive tabletop gaming where they get teams of streamers, I guess prolific streamers from various MOBAs or shooters or other games, getting them into playing D&D, and then assembling them into teams and having them competitively run adventures against each other and potentially getting into PvP as necessary. They're doing a MOBA structure to this where there will be a list of 17 heroes pre-generated. And there will be kind of a draft complete with band pick phases. And once the teams are assembled, they will then run adventures against each other, and almost like island expeditions in Warcraft.
Okay, so I guess that's what's one of the things. Running, how do you run an adventure against somebody? So are there two? Each team runs the same adventure, and how do you judge who does it better? Or
I don't know.
Does
I think it will have to have
teams take place in a single adventure that one DM is DMing?
I think it's that case.
They may or may not cross paths.
I think it's
and then again, how do you judge who wins unless they do cross paths?
So I think it's an adventure in which there are very clearly defined goals.
Okay.
And the two teams might be either competing for opposing goals. Like one team may be trying to stop one from doing sort of like Overwatch, where it may be like, deliver a payload kind of a thing. And if one team delivers a payload and the other team stops them,
okay,
kind of a thing. That's what I would imagine if they're going to do like a MOBA like format,
though, because you're going to fight.
Yeah.
I would say if you did the island expedition thing, you could avoid fighting because you have to go collect resources.
You might.
Whoever does that more efficiently.
Yeah. And I mean, who knows? That may be the case. I don't know.
We talked before, but I actually really like the idea of D&D MOBA.
Yep.
I've run a couple sessions like this where I don't know, I was just thinking it would be cool to run a session that was basically a League of Legends game. Have the 3 lanes set up and have, creeps go down the lane, like in waves down the lane. And I even had a system where they would gain gold and they could buy items and upgrades and stuff if they went back to base. And the ultimate goal was to destroy the other team's base in the end. And there was PvP. Well, it wasn't PvP because I was playing the other team. They were NPCs, but it was essentially PvP because I just made them classes.
Yeah. So so I'm not on board with this.
Yes, of course.
As we discussed before. So one thing, D&D is known for not doing PvP very well. The mechanics in D&D assume that players are cooperating together to take down sort of much larger threats. As often found when having little like one-on-one character spats or something, it pretty much becomes a case of like rocket tag often, which is compared to each other, player characters are often glass cannons regardless of how well armored they are. And so you have that, and then these folks have said right in there about us, they're not approaching it from a balanced perspective, and they have no interest in really doing so. So this might mean that you get like the same homogenous mix of what are considered optimized heroes during the pick ban phase. I mean, this is why in MOBAs, like, there's so much tweaking that goes on, although it is to keep things interesting.
Well, and even then, there's usually always a meta.
Yeah.
There are heroes that are just going to stand out. Now, there may be a pool of heroes, and usually because there's so many heroes to choose from in those games that Yeah, even if there is a pool, certain heroes are the best. There's usually a pool of heroes,
Yeah, I mean,
not just
this
10
is
heroes that are the best.
17
like-
heroes in the entire pool. We're talking like
Yeah.
Heroes of the Storm at launch.
Yeah.
Level. So yeah, I worry about that.
I'm with you on the. Yeah, I don't like that they're saying we're not going to tune or tweak, because I think
Like, you don't necessarily have to make them homogenous, like a criticism that many people have about 4th edition. You don't necessarily have to do that. But, like, for example, all right, the Ranger, the Ranger's main strong point is exploration, which, means that if they go up against a fighter or a paladin, or perhaps even a rogue, it may not be a fair fight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All 3 of those classes have so much burst.
Yeah.
Like,
And and it could be
Warrior
argued
just in the fact of how many attacks they can do.
Yeah.
Paladin just because of how much they could smite you
and
for.
smite, yeah, and rogue because of sneak attack.
Rogue because if they're an assassin,
yeah,
they can really, if they get
drop actually, and that brings up a good point, is where rangers
same thing.
are more of a steady DPS kind of thing.
Hunters, like a hunter ranger,
yes,
can put out a lot of damage, but it's pretty consistent and
but
stable.
you have to make the fight last, kind of a thing.
Kite.
Yeah, you have to kite. But that's assuming that just makes it so that you have to play as an archer ranger.
Yeah, probably.
Kind of a thing. But it grossly favors burst. I would argue it also grossly favors spellcasters.
All PvP favors burst, though. PvP in any game does.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. But I do get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It takes away from the creativeness that you have in creating making a character in D&D and utilizing your character and what your character can be good at.
Yeah.
Other than just combat.
Yeah. Is what I think would be a better way of going about it is and I know I've mentioned, I may not have mentioned this on the podcast or on stream before, but I know we've discussed it in like our game and everything, is I think a much better idea that wouldn't require pre-generated characters or everything. You just set guidelines for what you would need to do, like everybody's this level and everything, is taking a page from one Jim Dark Magic and basically doing Wizard Unknown's Battlegrounds as your competition. And you get 100 people and you have them all build their own D&D characters to whatever specifications that you set. And then it's, if you want to do PvP, fine. But you give them a goal of, you all have to get here or something. And whoever gets here first. Because that way then you could say, okay, well, the combat people, they're going to fight their way through. You could introduce challenges for the exploration people to overcome.
Yeah,
you could the social people, bribe, lie, seduce their way into not getting mashed up for whatever.
Yeah, there's also, here's the other thing about D&D, there's a lot of subjective
absolutely
judgment from
yeah.
TM.
Yeah.
You can have set DCs all you want and set challenges, but you don't know when a player is going to try something you weren't expecting.
Oh yeah.
And then how do you decide, okay, well, I have this DC set for a certain thing of how they
and the first moment that there is a slightly inconsistent ruling, yeah, that the chat is going to explode, and it is going to scream for murder.
I had thought about this, is how do you monitor cheating with dice rolls and whatnot if it's going to be all online?
I could see them
unless they use some type of app to roll.
I could see them using Roll20 and forcing the die rolls through Roll20 so that everyone
never
can see
mind.
it.
What am I? I'm a dummy.
But that means that you're also not rolling physical dice, and which is like half the point.
Which is part of the. Oh, this just goes to my argument of the live play.
Yes, you prefer live play where we're all sitting together.
The tactile,
yeah,
feeling of rolling dice is fun.
Because when you're playing with your friends and everything, the even if you're playing online and you're all rolling dice or whatever, it's the there is a certain amount of trust when playing with friends to
Yeah.
like the whole point of this is to have fun, right? And part of the fun is sometimes you fail and you deal with the failure in
That's
interesting
a
ways.
lot of the fun.
Yeah. So there's there's an element of trust to say, okay, I'm not going to cheat my friends out of a good time by cheating on my dice rolls. So it's also this basically means that the DM is not allowed to fudge any rolls.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be as objective as you
Yeah.
can make it be.
Yeah.
So
And
if you're
actually
gonna do
this
challenges, you have to have here's your DCs
and you know what this actually brings up like Adventures League, which is like sanctioned D&D stuff and everything. And that's, more traditional where you're, working together with people. But even still, there's stories of like inconsistent rulings and everything that like in one game people were allowed to do one thing and in another game they weren't. Quality of
I
DMs
looked
is
into DMing Adventures League a while back.
yeah.
Just to see if I could side gig but whatever. But looking over like DM's rule, like it tells you like basically follow the adventure. Like this is you got to be consistent, and like these are the items that they can have and can't have. Blah blah
Yep.
blah 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 blah. But like I said, there's a lot. It's a game that takes place in your imagination, so
Yeah,
you can't.
it's a lot of subjective stuff.
How do you can't limit an imagination or like you don't know what people are going to do or try. You
Yeah.
can take a pretty good guess and consistently guess within the range of what people are going to do, but there's always going to be that exception of that one person who really thinks outside the box and
Yeah.
comes out of left field with something you weren't expecting. Whatever. I think it's a cool idea. I agree. I think I like the idea of MOBA D&D, but
Yeah.
I think well, this could be think about this, Sean. We should just make that game. We should just make a tabletop MOBA.
Actually, funny you should
Unless
mention
there
that.
already is one.
When I went to Nerdtacular, 2 years ago. Yeah, or no, last year, because it was Nerdtacular 2017. There were folks that had made a card game that was basically you build a MOBA team and you have lanes and everything, and it's basically a MOBA card game.
Yeah.
Where you pick your heroes and stuff.
I want a map. I want little minis or even cardboard. If you ever want to get into game design,
well, that's basically wargaming.
Essentially,
just instead of a team of 5, you're using a team of 500 or more.
But come on, this is only board games. There's a market.
But no, my point is those games exist.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be.
Yeah. But this is also like you're building specific characters to be a tank, and like an auto attacker carry, to be a support, to be
MOBAs have
this
them.
and that.
MOBAs have
which MOBAs have that.
There.
And D&D kind of has
lots of different versions of all of those.
Yeah.
You don't like the style of one tank, there's another tank that you might like the style of better.
Yeah.
Speaking of transitioning, Mal'Ganis came out in Heroes of the Storm this week.
Did he?
Yeah. I've played him. He's good.
Yeah.
He's fun. I like him a lot.
Do you infect things with flies and turn into bats?
Okay, so here's his deal. He's a warrior hero.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know. I haven't played him enough to get a feel for if he's a bruiser or a main tank yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I played him more bruiser style just because I prefer that. But his whole deal is his passive is healing on attacks and abilities.
Yeah,
anything he does, he heals off of.
I saw something in a Carbot video where he like swaps health pools.
Yes, one of his alts. Yeah. One of his alts is he swaps health. It takes a second. It doesn't happen instantly though.
Yeah.
So you could be stunned or you could die before it goes off. That happened to me a bunch of times. Like I was trying to get a feel for, timing it correctly. But when it does go off, it's pretty funny. So that's one of his, and that's the only alt I ever picked on it. His Q is you can hit it a bunch of times. So it has three parts to it. You hit it once, he swipes and leaps forward. You hit it again, he swipes and leaps forward. And you hit it a third time, he leaps forward and does a big swipe where he stuns everybody in the area.
Okay.
So it
Interesting.
does like a short arc in front of you, a short arc in front of you, and it does like a small area in front of you where he stuns anybody in that little area.
And you have to hit it
And
in succession.
yeah, you can hit it not immediately. It doesn't have to be like boom, boom, boom. It could be boom, 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 or you could do boom, boom,
Oh, okay.
wait a little bit and go boom. Eventually, it will reset
Okay.
or go on cooldown. I don't know exactly how long you have to use
So
them.
you
I
can
haven't pushed it yet.
combo.
Yeah, you could boom, boom, boom. A lot of people use it as an escape a lot.
Interesting. Oh,
Not
very
even
interesting.
just to like hit, but if you,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah.
nice like it's a quick get away from divas exploding
Yep.
mech quickly.
Yeah.
Uh, I used it as a dive a lot just because I was the warrior and I was kind of tanking. But
Mm-hmm.
you tank through your sustain mostly. Your W is a very small radius AOE in the area like immediately around you that does some damage and gives you 25 armor for 3 seconds.
Okay.
So you get a little physical protection there and a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
And that one uh, you can get ability to make it shoot out bats and do extra damage, which I
Yeah,
always
there we
pick
go.
because that smell
I mean,
gans.
Nethrism. They have to
Yeah.
have bats. They have to have
Yep.
bugs. They have to have vampirism. Like that's the
And
whole
yep.
point of them.
No bugs, I don't think. But he definitely has bats and vampirism. And
Okay.
then his E is pretty cool. He takes a second and it channels, and then you get like a 3 or 4 second movement boost, and you like move around, and anybody you touch goes to sleep for a couple seconds.
Oh yeah, they do
Like
get that in Warcraft.
like you glide around for a little bit, and then anybody you touch while you're gliding,
Oh,
they
that's
fall asleep.
weird.
It's actually really cool and
Are you
super useful.
are you unstoppable or untargetable while gliding?
Maybe.
Like a la Medivh.
I don't know.
As like a little raven form kind of thing.
I didn't pay that much attention
Okay.
to it. Like I said, I was mostly using it to save teammates. Was probably my most common use of it.
Yeah.
If I saw teammates getting chased or something was when I used it. Sometimes I just use it to mess with like their team, just
Yeah.
to screw with them. A lot of times I'd use it on their healer.
Yep.
If like my assassins were focusing on one of their mages or something,
Yeah.
I'd get their healer to
Yep.
take them out of the fight for like 2 seconds. And then one ult is the swap health,
Yep.
which I think is probably the most useful and also most fun and hilarious. And then there's other ones, some like an AOE, not a lot of damage, but fun. Definitely my style for sure of
Yeah.
hero to play. I don't know. I just like slamming that Q button and getting 3 swipes and moving across and then stunning everybody
It
for a
makes
second.
me wonder if that's a mechanic to set up Doomfist.
Maybe that I know other games have done it. I think in League of Legends there's a I forget her name, some sword girl, but you hit
Yeah.
the Q button multiple times and she like does like a combo or something.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure other games have done it too. But yeah, I guess does Doomfist do that? And is that his thing in Overwatch?
So Doomfist in Overwatch, it's basically one of his attacks is like an uppercut. And then I think if you press it again, like you then rocket down to the ground and hit the ground. Okay. Another one's like a forward punch. He plays like a Street Fighter character.
Ooh.
Like he plays like Ryu.
Quarter circle punch?
Except that you're doing it in a first person shooter instead of a 2D fighter.
Are there actual like special move inputs for him?
There aren't. So
okay.
So that's the catch. But as far as you can use his abilities to combo stuff. Okay. So it's like cool. You can uppercut, forward, punch to dash, and then like rocket back down. Kind of a thing is a common one. So that like you hit somebody up and then like you punch them back and it knocks them, back places or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool. I like this hero. I like Mal'Ganis. I've always liked the Nethrazim, just their design, even way back in Warcraft 3. I just thought they just kind of have that classic demon look.
And then we get the magical light-based one in Legion.
Yeah, that's right. The good one.
The golden boy.
Yeah. I wonder who will be next in Heroes. I'm waiting for they just did a warrior, so I doubt, but I'm just waiting for Reinhardt one day.
Yep.
That's what I want. That's the next Overwatch hero.
I think if we're still doing, I don't know if they do another Warcraft hero, because we just got what 3? No, we got 2 because then there was also Mephisto, who's Diablo.
So yeah,
so we got Whitemane and we got
Mephisto was the last one before
yes.
Mal'Ganis, and before that it was Whitemane.
Yep.
And before that, was it Deckard Cain?
It might have been Deckard Cain.
There might have been somebody in between it. I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I would say okay. So if we get another Warcraft hero,
I want Turalyon. I want a rat paladin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Or
Illyria.
I really wish Yrel was a rat paladin, but she's not.
Oh no, you know what? I want Murad. I wanted Murad before Yrel. So Murad features very heavily in the Alliance campaign.
He's Crystal Sword. He's Crystal Sword man. Purple or not sword.
Hammer. Yeah.
Purple hammer guy.
He was the one where
I know who Murad is.
Yeah, in the Warlords of Draenor video series, he's the one who's talking about all the warlords, and then Varian's like why are you so eager? And then he tells his own story of how
yes. How he his own bloodlust got everybody killed.
Yes.
Indirectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also confirmed that he is in fact the Draenei in the Burning Crusade intro video.
Yep. That's still I always use that hammer and that tier.
It's a super cool
set on my paladin.
Super cool hammer.
I use that hammer and the tier 4 paladin set.
Yeah.
Because it looks the most like, I don't know, actual armor to me.
Yeah.
For a paladin.
But yeah, I don't think we'll get Murad.
No, we're not going to get Murad.
No.
I think you'll get Turalyon if you get another paladin. I don't think you're going to get another paladin for a long time. You just got Yrel.
Yep. So we have 2 already. I think. Let's see. You know what? I think
we're due for an Overwatch hero.
We are due for an Overwatch hero. So if it's Warcraft, I think we get Vol'jin.
I would love a Vol'jin.
Or Zakan.
Ooh.
I don't think we'll get Zakan, but I would love to see Zakan.
He's not there yet.
Oh, he's also a shaman. And we already have Thrall.
That's just one shaman. We need an Ellie shaman.
We need
Thrall is the correct
we need an alternate Thrall that's buddy cop Thrall Jin. where it's like a double hero where you get both Vol'jin and Thrall together. I think we could get Vol'jin.
I want Vol'jin.
I would love to see Vol'jin.
I wouldn't mind Illyria. Illyria would be okay.
We get Bwansamdi. We get our first Loa as a hero.
I wish.
Yeah. Just in time for Halloween. It'd be a spoopy hero.
No.
We get Bwansamdi. Yeah, no, I think if we're gonna get another Warcraft one, we might get Vol'jin.
That would be cool.
I think if it's an Overwatch one, I think we could get Reinhardt.
I think we just got a tank. I think we will.
That's right. It's for the next hero.
We'll get McCree.
Yeah.
Or Reaper.
Yeah.
Or we haven't got a specialist in a while. Who's the little dwarf guy in Overwatch?
Torbjorn.
We could get Torbjorn.
Yeah, Torbjorn's hard though because we already have Gazlo.
Well, I think we don't have a lot of heroes like that with.
That's true.
Although he does do kind of the same.
He kind of does the same thing as Gazlo.
Get the dumb
Symmetra.
Hamster. Symmetra would be cool because.
Oh no! You know what? Yeah, we get Wrecking Ball. Yeah. No, I'd totally be on board with Wrecking Ball.
Dumb.
Best hero.
Symmetra, doesn't she put the little
Yeah, she puts little lasers.
That would be cool because that would be an interesting mechanic around the map.
Yeah. The only thing I don't know is her signature ultimate is a teleporter, and it's basically what we have with Medivh.
Morales. Oh.
Although Medivh's is a base ability, so yeah, I can see that. You drop a teleport.
Morales has the ult with the drop ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I would say Symmetra, or maybe Doomfist.
That'd be an interesting one.
Um, I don't even know who it would be if it's another Diablo hero.
I think we're due for a specialist.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who would be a specialist.
Um,
Symmetra kind of fits that role.
so yeah, Symmetra, Mekatork. Do High King Mekatork and build little boom Dr. Boom! You build little boom bots.
Want to know who I want? I want Millhouse Manastorm.
Yeah, Millhouse would be great.
His ult is just his wife yelling at him. What raid was that? Alcatraz or something?
No, it's not Alcatraz. It's
it's
Violet Hold.
Violet Hold.
Violet Hold.
I always laugh at that little interaction.
Yep.
Yeah,
Millhouse would be good. Millhouse is also great because like Millhouse isn't a good guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not a good person.
Well, and he's just fun.
Yeah.
A lot of his dialogue would be funny. He's kind of a silly character.
Yes.
Like I think that's a really good fit for heroes.
What's funny is like he starts off good, and then you find out during like Cataclysm that he fell in with the Twilight cult.
Yeah,
he's all in with, and I'm not even sure why he's in there.
he just wandered in.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if he just wandered in and then was just like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever they say so that they don't kill me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mekatork would be good.
Yeah, I could see Mekatork, or Thermoplug.
You're gonna get the same character that essentially though.
Or Dr. Boom. Is basically it's something that generates little bots.
Ooh, I know what would be interesting. Either like so this kind of goes in the Abathur direction.
Okay.
Do an old god. Do Cthulhu or something where like they're not directly like out in the, but they're somehow like they indirectly influence.
Yeah,
almost
I also think we're
Abathur like thing.
I also wonder if we're due for. I hesitate to say gimmicky, but I mean that's basically what it is, like a very gimmicky, very hard, high skill cap hero. We're talking Abathur, Lost Vikings, Cho'Gall, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean Cthulhu, Yogg Saron.
Here's one I always would like to, Imperius.
Yeah, Imperius has been requested.
Yeah. But I think that's just another tank. I don't see him as anything else but a tank.
Yeah, I could see an old god.
I think that would be cool. Like
I think, and they could do a similar thing that Ragnaros does, where they take over a fort.
Or like, yeah, somehow you can make tentacles sprout up in different places on the map or something.
Oh, I mean that's easy enough to do. Is you just have that be one of your base abilities. Is tentacle sprouts up.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Tentacle sprouts up, and like a hat, then gives you an extra ability bar.
Yeah, exactly.
That you can then flail around or grab a hero or something and do that stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. See, there you go. It does a slam. It does like a grab. There you go. Maybe it just has those two.
And then maybe you have like corruption as a trait or something that like anytime you sprout a tentacle or hit an enemy hero or something, like you cause corruption and it does something. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one.
Maybe corruption grants you vision.
I think we're still missing a Diablo baddie too, aren't we?
Bale. I mean, I'm sure there's any number of
Belial, right?
One of them. I don't know. And there's any number of like lesser demon bosses and stuff. What about Tal Rasha?
Who the heck's that?
He's one of the wizard. He's one of the Haradrim wizard guys.
Oh, yeah. So we have.
Or you get what's the second boss in Diablo 3 is the mummy guy.
Yeah, like a bunch of lesser evils.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get Wirt.
Wirt.
And his special ability is he clubs people with his peg leg. I don't know.
Yeah, Ball was there. You go.
Yeah.
Tal Russia. Jeez, I forgot all this Diablo.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Because I mean, we already have the Amazon. We already have
We don't have the Amazon.
the Wizard. Yeah, we do.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
It's
I haven't played her
Cassia.
in so long. Yeah, I haven't played her.
That's
in so
what
long.
made it confusing because we also have an Amazon skin for Nova too.
Yeah.
So double Amazon we already have. We've got the Necromancer. We have Crusader. We have Wizard, and that basically also kind of covers Sorcerer.
Yeah.
I also don't think there's enough distinction for Sorcerer from both Li Ming and Jaina and Kalthos, because
we've got Monk.
We have Monk. We have Witch
we
Doctor.
Have,
we have Crusader. I think I may have already
have
mentioned that.
We got them all.
I think Crusader overlaps enough with. We have Barbarian.
We have Demon Hunter.
We have Demon Hunter.
Was there a Druid in Diablo 2?
There was Druid in. I think it was in Diablo 1.
Oh,
I think it was an expansion for Diablo 1.
Here's what we do. Who's another Druid that's not
Malfurion?
That's not the worst Druid of all time, Malfurion. We need a Druid that's feral. We need a feral Druid.
Feral Druid.
That would be a cool assassin, actually.
Oh yeah.
Feral Druid.
Yeah, do feral.
Or
Druid.
actually, no. It would be.
It could be our next. It could be our next.
Variant.
Yeah, multi-type hero.
Yep, you get feral, boom, or tree.
No, you might as well make feral. You might as well make it all 4.
No. Yeah, I guess you could go all 4.
Yeah.
I would say you already got Malfurion, who's kind of the healer, although he's also kind of boom.
Except he's not great as DPS though. He's really bad.
He's not great at any of it.
Oh, I know. I've got perfect one.
What?
Zenkiki.
Who's Zenkiki?
Troll Druid.
Oh, he's the one who fails.
He's the one who's bad at everything. Yeah. You put him in with the other joke Warcraft characters like ETC and Murky.
Yeah. Murky's no joke, son.
No, I mean you can make him super effective, right? Because ETC is really good. I mean, I don't know what the current meta is, but ETC seems to be
a. There was a time where ETC was very good.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you're saying.
I mean, you could do Thistly Mooncrow or whatever her name is, but she's like Druid of the Talon, so she turns into birds, which we've already got with Medivh.
So I think so Malfurion's got your healer covered.
Yeah.
So you're either Guardian, Feral, or Boom.
Yeah. Yeah. There's room for that, I'm sure. I haven't played through my Druid through Legion yet, so I'll let you know what Druids I encounter in the campaign.
Yeah, I don't know who the major NPC Druids are. Other than
oh no, you know what? She's 110, so I'm just skipping the whole story campaign for Druids. Yeah, oops.
There's got to be a Tauren Druid out there too.
Hamul Rune Totem.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sounds like Shaman.
I don't know if he actually turns into things though. I think he pretty much just hits things with his giant totem pole.
As all Tauren should.
Like he may very well actually be a Resto Druid.
That's also I want a this is a Dota character, Earthshaker, but I want a Tauren that basically just uses his big giant totem to do things.
Yeah.
But I mean, we kind of already got that Thrall.
And he can actually have planes running as his mount ability.
Yeah.
That makes me so sad that they didn't decide to like retroactively give that to Tauren after they made it the Worgen like mount, like racial mount thing. Where Worgen can do running wild, and I guess in vanilla, like in an early build, it was the joke with Tauren was that they were so big that they didn't get mounts, like that they couldn't use mounts, and what you did was you instead activated a planes running ability and you just ran really fast. That I wish was now. I wish it was a thing, especially since like Tauren just don't work with so many mounts because they're too big. But yeah, I mean that would be cool. So yeah.
I'll see. Like I said, I'm just curious to see what they do. That's still the game I I always play consistently, usually every
Yeah.
day, a couple matches at least.
Yeah. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the general news for this week.
Soul Calibur 6 comes out Friday.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, if you're into
Well,
fighters.
well, you can play that, or you can catch us right here
Oh, that's right.
at twitch.tv/8bitadventures to watch
That's right.
episode 2,
Whoa.
Tales of Jamora, The Kraken's Wake, and see what sort of harrowing fate befalls our heroes as they're staring down the gullet of a dragon turtle that is as big as their ship. In other news, so this past week I played more Earthlock, Festival of Dawn, or Festival of Magic, not Festival of Dawn. Josh joined up in the chat for a little bit. It's a fun game. So as I stated on my art stream, I'm at the furthest point in that game that I have ever been, so I don't know what else is coming. So yeah. Looks like I have 2 more characters to grab for the party. I don't know what they are. I think one of them's a dog. The other one might be like a little robot. But yeah, it's a cool little game. I think it's pretty cheap on Steam.
Nice.
You just got to make sure you get the version that is in all caps, which is why it's weird to like enter stuff in, because like technically the name of the game is Earthlock in all caps, but like it came out previously as Earthlock Festival of Magic, so that's like what's on YouTube and Twitch and everything. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of a generic fantasy game in which I don't know, like I'm looking to get some artifact to find my uncle, who's not really my uncle because he's a weird hammerhead man kind of creature.
All right.
Yeah. Story, the story's okay. Combat's interesting. It's very combat light, but you basically have 2 different modes. Every character has like 2 different stances that give you access to different abilities. In order to use ranged attacks, you have to equip ammo, and that basically determines like what a special attack you get to do. And then there's no mana or anything. It's just action points that you get to spend each turn. So yeah,
I don't know. I've kind of dropped off on playing Dragon Quest 11. Just, I don't know. The story's just so generic so far.
Yeah. That's the feeling that I got with all my Dragon Quest games that I was playing on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Which I know are older ones, so like, there's not really much to be said, but
I mean, I didn't talk about it, but it's a Dragon Quest game essentially. Yeah, you kind of know what you're getting into. They play it pretty safe for the most part.
The demon lord has awakened and will take over the kingdom.
And you're the chosen one. And
you are the chosen hero.
Quest and yeah, and again, those who listen and me, I like something a little more depth and a little more grit.
Josh, what if for the next Dragon Quest game, instead of that story, it was to find the 7 Dragon Balls, and that all of the characters were actually just Dragon Ball Z characters?
Chala, head chala.
For those who are unaware,
they basically are.
It uses the same artist.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the game looks really good.
Yeah.
Like bringing it into the 3D world, they did a really nice. It looks sharp. It looks great. Yeah. It's just, and I don't know. Maybe I'll try again this weekend to get into it, but it's just, I don't know.
I would love for there to be an update to Dragon Warrior Monsters.
My brother Matt played that on Game Boy when we were kids. He had it. It
was
like
basically
Pokemon,
the closest
Dragon Quest, right?
the closest thing that could come to like rival Pokemon. And it was basically it had like hundreds of monsters, procedurally generated, very simple dungeons because it was on the Game Boy Advance. And had a lot of like breeding mechanics so that you could like essentially like breed 2 monsters, get a new monster, and there was all sorts of weird stuff. and that like you could teach like your new monsters like different abilities based on who their parents were, kind of a thing. So yeah,
That was like on an original game.
quite possibly.
That was a long time ago. I'm
I
trying to
still have
remember.
my copy of it around here somewhere. I'm sure that the save battery has long since died.
Might have been on
Maybe.
Game Boy Color, but same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it
my
might have been Game
youngest
Boy
brother.
Color. Yeah. Oh no,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah. Sorry, I keep saying Game Boy Advance. I mean Game Boy Color.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yep.
Long ago.
Yeah. So tomorrow night we'll be continuing Earthlock. I'm gonna keep playing Earthlock until I finish it, and then we'll look at different games. So maybe Overcooked, maybe Super Mario Party.
Ooh.
Because by then I will have paid off the capture card and will actually be able to stream Switch games, which will be very exciting.
Yeah, cool.
There was a comic this week. I forget which number, 2 dash, we'll say 46 or 47 or something. Keeping It Together, where the chairman tells Melody that the judges have asked her to complete one more challenge. And basically we see a little bit of inner monologue of her raging out at the fact that she has already had to perform more and more difficult challenges than other competitors, and now she has to do one more thing. But she keeps it together and just kind of narrows her eyes. This is totally not any sort of social commentary at all. That is a statement made with sarcasm. But yeah, we'll see. This be a little bit of insider info is when the comic comes back. As it'll be on a little bit of a 2-week hiatus as I am on vacation, but it'll involve culinary ninjas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you? Oh, what's the anime called?
Because it's Ironclad Chef, and so if it's based on a very silly Japanese property that is designed to ramp up the campiness of it, what better way than to have culinary ninjas? And I have to remember, like, is it the ninja knife or something? I remember it's like some infomercial for some sort of like knife or a blender. It might be a blender, the ninja blender. There's some sort of culinary tool.
My roommate has a ninja blender.
It might be blenders that I'm thinking of. Yeah, so they may have something to do with like blending things or something to make it culinary themed. But Melody, because it's essentially going to be like 100v1, Melody will get some unexpected help. Indeed. And then the recoloring or the art stream this week was recoloring more comics from chapter 1 to get them ready for print. So, just to take care of some business, there will be no streams next week, again, as I am on vacation. However, Tales of Jamora will still go up as normal and will be posted at the regular time 2 weeks from now. So yeah. So all you listeners that are craving that hot swashbuckling action, you will not miss anything.
Whoa, I thought we were trying to keep this
we are, Josh. What are you implying? Hey, I'm just saying that they can get all sorts of daring and seafaring.
Okay.
And because technically it is an adult show, swearing.
I'm implying that you might be able to get a little bit more.
Unlikely in the upcoming episode. Unless by a hot swashbuckling action we mean staring down the gullet of a dragon turtle.
Sounds hot to me.
Or perhaps staring outside from the gullet of a dragon turtle. We'll see.
I am not my players.
Next time on Tales of Jamora. Yep. So, I think that's actually going to wrap it up for this week. Just gotta play our outro music. There we go. There we go.
Did it.
So yes, if you enjoyed this podcast and you would like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, particularly the 8-Bit Adventures comic, as well as the Tales of Jamora show and links for, or the VODs for all the streams, as well as all of 8-Bit Adventures social media links, you can head on over to www.8-bitadventures.com. If you like that content and you want to support it, you can head on over to patreon.com/8bitadventures. No hyphen needed for that. You can also, let's see, where is it? It's up in the upper right corner on the stream there, right above Josh's head. You can find that link. So yeah, $2 patrons, people that pay only $2 a month, get access to all parts of the Tales of Jamor episodes at once. So you do not have to wait weekly to see each part of the episodes.
Gotta get that binge.
Mm-hmm. Our opening and closing theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his awesome, illustrious work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. So with that, we are going to sign off for the night. So have fun, happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake, folks.
You better enjoy it.
I don't actually have anything funny to say this week.